Be on the move. The world must be told of the coming darkness.
Your middle field is under attack. An ally has been slain.
My ancestors.
Double kill.
Oh, that is so cool.
Unleash your power, champion.
Need more time.
A worthy opponent.
Not ready yet.
A worthy foe.
If only they could see me now.
Your middle field is under attack.
I'm just warming up. Still waiting. Didn't see that coming, did you? Still waiting. I am returning to you.
Your deeds. You have finished.
You dare attack me? I'm injured. Your grave awaits. I have a new ally in my group, but my enemies gain strength as well. My ally is left. The enemies I face will be weaker. If only they could see me now.
Fear not, I have written. We'll rip these brutes to shreds.
Heal me. That's impossible. Not ready yet. waiting.
The Rift Guardian has arrived.
Need more time. Need to go back. I am so good. I astound myself. I am unstoppable.
Our opponents may be strong, but I will not stand down.
Your grave awaits.
I will.
not ready yet.
My name is when the chief you I may
How does that feel? If my old masters could see me now. I need healing. I need to go back. I am so good. I astound myself. My power grows. Let's see. That is too expensive. If only they could see me now. I am so good. I astound myself.
Prove yourself worthy. The Rift Guardian.
I am so good. I astound myself. I'm carrying too much.
Prepare for a long fight!
My bags are full. I am returning to
That was a worthy foe! Glory!
You dare attack me? I'm badly wounded. I am unstoppable. I grow weak. Didn't see that coming, did you?
The Rift Guardian is here.
You have triumphed.
Need more time.
Let's see the gem.
I am returning to town.
The
My power grows.
Such a brave soul.
That is too expensive.
Enemies of the Nephilim surround.
Not ready yet.
Enemies of the
must wait longer. Need healing. I'm just warming up. And nothing. I must wait longer. Didn't see that coming, did you?
The Rift Guardian has come.
You have a choice.
Dare attack me? I must wait longer. Still waiting. Didn't see that coming, did you? Not ready yet.
The Rift Guardian is here.
You have trust.
If only they could see me
Your triumph.
That is too expensive.
Zakharum has fallen to death may be upon us all by the grace of the ancients. Death may be upon us all by the grace of the ancients. May your soul be warmed and brought to glory in righteousness.
Are you ready? Then your trial begins.
Still waiting. Still waiting. That's impossible. Your grave awaits! Need more time.
I am stronger still. I need healing.
No way. Didn't see that. more time.
I don't like the look of that.
The Rift Guardian has arrived.
You have triumphed. Yes. I am returning to town.
A foe worth killing. Heal me!
Impressive.
Need more time.
Your defenses are nothing.
I have a new ally in my group.
The Rift Guardian has come.
Not ready yet. I need to go back.
The ancient.
My road. I can't afford that.
Many Nephilim have stood where
That
you
is
are
too
now,
expensive.
but few succeeded in overcoming them.
I wish I could do that.
Any Nephilim.
If only they could see me now. Still waiting. Need more time. impossible.
Nicely done.
The Rift Guardian has arrived.
Not ready yet. Need more time.
I'm just warming up.
Your trial.
I must wait longer.
Prepare for a long fight!
13 hours.
The Rift Guardian is here.
You have trust. I can't carry anymore.
Good to see you.
I can't pick up anything else. I need to go back.
definitely good trash. It's
Hello
very low
there.
value, but there I think.
Nice on you. Don't forget, luck always changes. Do come back again.
So a bunch of the legendaries I put on aren't even useful for the build. For example, I put on Mental Channeling, completely useless for this build. This is not a channeling build. I put on
I am
the
returning
pants
to
that
town.
increase your primary skill damage. Can't think of the code right now. I don't really use my primary skill damage. Obviously, I have a primary skill, but it's not my main
Fortune
damage.
favors the bold. That's nice.
I've got
give it
the
back.
pet glove.
I can't afford
I had
that.
because I kept a pair intended for my necro. This isn't a pet build.
Well,
The boots, well, I didn't have any legendary boots, so I just upgraded a rare to a legendary, and they're the first boots I got. They are not ancient either. The mental channeling is ancient, which is nice, but yeah, that's the only benefit. It's
Glorious
just
development.
standard damage, nothing from the legendary stats.
I wish you luck, hero.
Your defenses are nothing. Didn't see that coming, did you? How does that feel?
better than it used to be. All I got to do is get this blue down and we'll print.
If only they could see me now.
So this is going for the on daily. Service hours 20 minutes. Season.
I wish I could do that.
Is where I wish I had Impale.
Achievements. Now you beautiful little 13s out there will notice that during your season journey, if you want to get all of your achievements and be a season guardian, you're going to have to do a few difficult achievements. Now conquests are probably the most difficult to go to come across. They're the only ones that'll give you some issues. So what I'm going to do, because I'm such a nice guy, I'm going to cover them up so that you all can get your guardian achievements and titles in no time. So checking out the achievements list here with conquests in your season journey, in order to get your guardian achievement and title, what you're going to have to do is complete 3 conquests. Now these can be quite difficult. One of them is definitely the easiest out of the whole lot, and that is on a good day. So level 3 legendary gems to level 65. Super easy. All you have to do is just keep running Greater Rift, leveling up your Paragon levels, leveling up those gems, and just get 3 of them up to 65. Plus one nearly at 100 at the moment, so 65 will be a walk in the park, easy, no problem. The second one, and keep in mind you can do any 3 conquest achievements that you want during this season journey. I'm going to show you the 3 easiest in my opinion, and I'll just do so you can all do it too and get your guardians. The thrill is probably the second easiest in my opinion. It can be tricky for new players if you're not familiar with your class as well. What you have to do is reach a Greater Rift level 45 solo, so on your own, without any set items or equips. For the Demon Hunter, this is absolutely easy pickings. I'm going to show show you exactly how to do the Demon Hunter. If you're playing a Demon Hunter this season, well, you must, because you're going to know how to do it as well. I'm going to show you the most important part of this is the skills that you're using. It's not so much the items. The items, there are definitely items that optimize the build and definitely make this easier. So let's have a look first. Skills. So we're using evasive, harvest, focus, multi-shot.
The Rift Guardian has arrived.
This is a fire damage build. Companion with Book Companion, Vault, Tumble, Vengeance with Seed, Marks for Death with Contagion, the passive Ambush, Thrill of the Hunt, Ballistics, and Cull of the Weak. Canai's Cube, we definitely want Dawn, Visage of Goons, and Obsidian Ring of the Zodiac. Paragon Points. You definitely want to get your movement speed up to 25%, so get that happening. Make sure you check your items. If you've got something that's like 12%, you only need to put 13% in movement speed. You cannot get any higher than 25%. Anything higher goes to waste, so just make sure it equals out to 25% movement speed. Everything else dump into dexterity. Offense. You want to go critical hit chance, critical hit damage, attack speed, and cooldown reduction in that order. Defense. Resist all, armor, life regeneration in that order. Utility, you want to go resource cost reduction, life per hit, area damage, gold find in that order. Having said that, if you're more comfortable putting your Paragon points somewhere else, do it your way. It doesn't really matter. The most important part is just use the skills that I've used. Now the gear, if you can, use Yang's recurve. This is definitely going to optimize the build big time. You're going to be doing a lot of damage. It's going to make it a hell of a lot easier. Dead Man's Legacy, definitely want to have this equipped if you've got it. If not, just put your best high damage quiver that you have in the slot there. The belt, Hunter's Wrath, this is definitely another one that goes hand in hand, and those three items are probably the absolute most important key items, plus what's in Canai's Cube that will really just obliterate this Greater Rift 45 easily. Now, other items worth mentioning that can definitely affect this Greater Rift 45. The Syndicate will reduce your resource cost with fire skill, so multi-shot is going to cost less. This is quite important. If you've got this, definitely equip it. If you don't have it, try and find it. Wraps of Clarity will increase your damage reduction, so that these are nice for survivability. However, if you don't have them, just put your best braces in slot. Convention of Elements for some extra damage, and Elusive Ring for survivability. The two gems that I'm using are Bane of the Trapped and Zay's Stone of Vengeance, and I'm not using one in my neck piece, so it just goes to show you don't have to go like all out for this. It's pretty much just the skills that do it for you. You've got Mage Fist, which is just a nice increase to fire damage. Death's Watch Mantle doesn't really affect any of our skills, neither does Andariel's Visage, and Ouroboros is just a nice thing that I've put in there. Don't even need a slot because we're not going to need a gem. We've got enough power behind it. Depth Diggers, again, doesn't really affect much at all because Evasive Fire isn't going to be doing the primary damage for this. And Illusory Boots are nice. They just let you walk straight through enemies. You don't have to bump into enemies and can't get out of sticky situations. You can just walk on out of there straight through your enemies. They're pretty nice, but they're not necessary. We're going to be killing everything anyway. You shouldn't find yourself in a bad situation, really. So that's the build, that's the skills, the Paragon points, and all of the items you should have equipped. Let's just go and do a level 45 Rift. We'll show you all how it's done. So a Rift 45 is actually the equivalent to Torment 10. Which really isn't an issue once you get higher Paragon points. It really is not an issue at all. And as you can see, their resource costs are like just ridiculous. I'm hardly spending any resources at all. And if you do find yourself low on resource, just Evasive Fire. Keep in mind, the further back you stand, the more damage you do. But like you can see, we're just breezing through this. Ultra easy. It's like nothing. Nothing. Now what you want to keep in mind is Vault for survivability, for that elusive ring which we have, which is definitely nice. If you haven't got the elusive ring, if you haven't even got the Wraps of Clarity, if you're lacking on survivability, you just want to take your time and just stay back and use damage resistance. Nothing wrong with that at all. also keep in mind to have Vengeance up pretty much 100% of the time. As soon as that's up, reactivate it. And right now we're way ahead of time. Super easy. Just avoiding damage whenever we can. Keep in mind, we are Demon Hunters, and Demon Hunters are not tanky. We're a ranged class. It's supposed to be more squishy because we do our damage from a distance. That's the whole idea behind being, you know, a ranged class. And the amazing thing about a multi-shot Demon Hunter is a lot of times you can kill things without even seeing them. Just fire multi-shot. Things are dead. Roll on through the map and everything is dead in front of you. It's a very OP build, I think. Especially if you follow my guide and use the items that I have equipped. They're ultra overpowered, seriously. And if you have ancient items, you're going to be doing even more damage. If you want, you can also put another gem in your neck piece. That'll increase damage even more, but I think the two that we have is more than enough, more than sufficient. As you can see, we're progressing very, very easily. We're nearly at the end now. Thanks for sticking through and watching all this time. Alright, so after this elite here, the Rift Guardian will pop. And Rift Guardian's not going to be a challenge either, believe it or not. As you can see here, multi-shotting, like things are dying off screen nearly. Very, very good build. Very, very convenient. Where is he? Is he going to come down here? Yeah, he is. But the further away we are, the more damage we do with Zay Stone of Vengeance. Stupid Templar. Look at him. He's not even attacking the Rift Guardian. How dumb is he? It's alright, we got this anyway, we got this. So it is quite challenging if you don't know what you're doing, not using any set items. It can be challenging, and depending on what class you go with, it can be even more challenging because survivability is definitely lacking and damage is also an issue when you haven't got any set items equipped. You really have to know your class quite well. With a Demon Hunter, multi-shot works best, and definitely with Yang's Recurve and Deadman's Legacy equipped, plus you've got Syndicate, everything combined definitely helps. It's not something you can do super early on, but the conquests, you don't have to do the conquests later on in the season journey anyway. It's like, you know, the last few chapters. So hopefully by then you've gathered up some time and you'll be able to do exactly what I've told you you need to do and equip the items that I've told you you need to equip. But that is how we do a Ranger Rift 45 with no set items equipped, the Demon Hunter class. As you can see, we dominated the time so easily. We had so much time there left. The Rift Guardian did take a little bit longer to down than I thought it would, but you saw that survivability wasn't an issue. I did it, but there's no reason to do it. And make sure you tune back in for that third conquest that I'm going to go through real soon. I'm also going to explain my current Demon Hunter build, which is the Natalia/Marauder build. It's currently clearing Greater Rift 100 for me, and I'm not even 1000 Paragon yet. It's also on top of the Demon Hunter leaderboard, so it's the number one build. However, there is a lot of versatility this season. A lot of different builds are really high up in the rankings. We've got a multi-shot build. We've also got the Shadows Mantle set, which is up there. So currently, as I'm recording this, the Natalia/Marauder build is number one, and it's currently clearing, I believe, 113 dude that's doing it about 3,000 plus Paragon levels, and I'm clearing Greater Rift 100 with just 1,000 Paragon points, well, just under 1,000, like 965, so it just goes to show how powerful that build is. I'm going to do it days. Sorry if you don't miss that. If you don't want to subscribe, as I always keep saying, it's okay. Just come back and visit your creepy damn uncle. Welcome back, guys. Banning 13 here, and I'm going to go through the Delcia's Magnum Opus set dungeon, and I'm going to run you through, guys, everything, the preparation, the skills that you need to do this. I'm not going to do some pointless video where I'm just completing the set dungeon without explaining it to you guys. I'd like to explain how to do this and everything that I use in order to do it. Now, there's one gear change that we use for this, and that is the braces here. We want Ranslaw's Folly, alright? And with Ranslaw's Folly, you get Energy Twister periodically pulling in lesser enemies within 30 yards. So this will help with one of our objectives, which I'll go through when we get to the set dungeon entrance. So make sure you got Ranslaw's Folly. Everything else is exactly the same, just like I went through with my DMO, my Delcia's Magnum Opus build. If you haven't checked out my build video, check that out. It might be of use to you, it might help you out. That's the only change that we're doing from that build video. The other changes that we're doing will be our skills. We're keeping Spectral Blades, Barrier Blades, and we're putting in Energy Twister with Wicked Wing. Now, releasing a Raging Tornado that spins in place, dealing damage to everything caught in it. With the braces, this will suck in all the enemies around you, and that'll help us activate Slow Time, which is the objective. I think we have to capture 30 different enemies, alright, different enemies. In the past, you could do Slow Time on the same 30 enemies 3 times in a row, and get the objective. And we can't do that anymore. We need to capture 30 different enemies, alright? So things have slightly changed in PTR. Either way, with Energy Twister and those braces, it's a hell of a lot easier. We're keeping Teleport with Wormhole, basically just for mobility, and we need to get through this set dungeon as quickly as possible. Time is a factor here. Keep stuffing around, you will run out of time. It's very easy. Very importantly, we need Wave of Force with Impacting Wave. Now this will help us to reverse those projectiles, to hit back those projectiles, which is one of the objectives. Again, I'll go through the portal, but you must have Wave of Force, Impacting Wave. Without this, you cannot complete the set dungeon. And I'm keeping Arcane Orb in consideration. This is just for elite mobs, just to take them down real quick, right? That's pretty much the only time we'll be using Arcane Orb, just to take down elites and keep moving through the set dungeon. That will be very helpful. If you have Arcane Orb, it's going to take out too many enemies before we can complete our objectives, and I definitely wouldn't recommend that one. We only need a skill just to take out elites. So, passives stay the same. Now we can head over to the set dungeon. We're fully prepared. The set dungeon is in Act 3. We want to head over to Bastion's Stronghold.
You dare attack
And then we
me?
just head on over this way. And we head into Sky Crown Battlements. Alright, you with me so far? Pretty easy stuff. We're gonna have to kill some stuff here. Or we'll just skip it. What I might do is I might go all the way to the portal. I'm not gonna waste time killing shit. And we'll make sure that we kill everything we need to here. Voila! And there is our entrance to our set dungeon. Now this is an example of projectiles, alright? Bang! That's how we do it. Alright, let's have a look at our objectives while we're at the entrance here. So, objective number 1, simultaneously catch 30 different enemies in the cast of Slow Time 3 times. So like I mentioned, that's where Energy Twist is going to come in handy, but be careful, because there's another objective, that is reflect 200 projectiles, like you just saw me do. There I reflected about, I don't know, 5 or 6 of them. We've got to do 200 now. There's an easy way to do this. If you know which enemies you need to target with certain things for these objectives, then this is a hell of a lot easier. For the reflection objective, you target those insects that shoot the projectile insects, and they shoot maybe about 5 or 6 projectiles each, right? So keep them alive, don't use Energy Twister on them unless you've already completed your reflection objective. Cast Slow Time, and your Slow Time should be filled with those little targets. Make sure you keep your distance from them, and then reflect them, alright? And then obviously the other objective, like I mentioned, was catch 30 different enemies in the cast with slow time. If they're not those insects, then use your energy twister and we should easily get 30 different enemies 3 times and the objective will be complete. So watch me do it if you don't get what I'm saying. Just make sure, keep in mind, when you're reflecting projectiles, those insects are ideal for this. And you'll see me do it in a second, alright? So let's get in here. Let's get in this. Once we are in, there should be a big pack usually right off the bat. 26! Skewing. That's usually 30 there. That's alright. We'll keep going. I'm pretty sure we'll get another 3 groups of 30. So use the spectral blades. Even those guys that shoot the spears. Oh, here we go. The insects. Look at those projectiles. See what I mean? They're everywhere. Look at them all. So they're ideal for this. So we've already got 58, alright? So keep those insects alive as long as you can. And usually if they spawn right at the start, you might be able to get a really big boost to your objective. Reflecting projectiles. Now make sure that we cover off as much, well, all of the map. This is, here we go. Alright, so there was 32 enemies there. And we've also got a lot of projectiles, which is nice. Like I was saying, cover off every any of this map. We don't want to be missing one enemy and then have everything else complete. Oh, nice. That was a nice group there. Those guys that throw the spears, they're also considered projectiles, so slow time, let them throw their spears and reflect that back as well.
If only they could see me now.
But other than the spear throwers and the insects, there's no other projectiles. You can just group up all the other. This is ideal. Oh, look at all these little projectiles. Projectiles. Whatever you want to call them. Oh yes, look at that. So now we've completed that objective. And now we can just kill these insects. Use your energy twister, just kill them. We don't need them anymore. Just another big group. Slow time, we need 30. So let's go.
The Rift Guardian is here.
Very good for time. Here's a big group. Not big enough. They're too fat. They want to move. They're too fat. But yeah, we're going good so far. We've done one objective. We've reflected all of the projectiles, and we just need one more big pack for slow time. One more pack of 30. And here they are. Beautiful. Lovely. Alright, now we just need to complete the set dungeon on time. Alright, so now we just go nuts. Now you'll probably want to use that arcane orb as much as possible. Because we don't need to keep shit alive for any reason. And this map is a bit of an odd map. It'll probably take you a few goes. I'm pretty sure you'll have it complete a few times and then you'll fail because you've missed an enemy somewhere. It's a really ugly map that's all over the joint.
Are you ready?
So make sure that you're just at full concentration at all times.
Don't be shy.
If you think something is alive, make sure you just go back and kill it. At the moment, I don't think we've missed anything. We just need to get through this on time. Under 1 minute to go. That arcane orb definitely comes in handy with killing these elites, I tell ya. Alright, this should be the last pack. We should have this. I'm so good, come on. We got it. And that, boys and girls, is how we do the DLC's Magnum Opus set dungeon. Now it's your turn. Let me know how you go. Welcome back, my favorite nerds in this entire universe. Bannock 13 here with a very exciting build. I'm actually excited about this one, boys and girls. This is the Delcia's magnum opus, and we're focusing on the arcane orb for this. And out of everything that I've trialed and been testing out, this arcane orb build is the highest damage that I've actually come across. I haven't seen anything do any more damage than this build right here, which I'm going to share with you guys. The only thing that might beat this is if you have ancient gear and really work hard on getting those ancient items with absolutely perfect flawless stats. However, if you can't be bothered doing all the farming, you're just starting out as a wizard, this is perfect because you don't need ancient items. As you can see, I haven't really got ancient items here. Nothing's really flawless, and this does a shitload of damage. You won't have any issues on Torment 10, and Greater Rifts will be a breeze as well. So there's a lot of things that go hand in hand with this build as we'll go through in a second, and there's a lot of damage reduction that we need to apply as well. So first of all, let's have a look at the 6 set bonus. The 2 set bonus is casting arcane or benefit blah 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 blah. Reduces the cooldown of slow time by 2 seconds, right? So slow time is huge in this. Slow time will increase the damage you do by 2000% and also reduces the damage that you take, right? So 4 set bonus is 50% reduced damage while inside your slow time, like I was just mentioning, and the 6th one is 2000%. 2000%! That's absolutely huge. So our arcane orb will be doing all that damage for us. Eventually when we get a twisting sword or something like that, I'll be experimenting with energy twister, which is I think the top notch rank, Greater Rift, higher rank. But until then I haven't seen one of those swords yet, but this definitely does an awesome job. Arcane Orb is definitely an awesome build. So what we want is our 6 pieces. We want our helm, shoulders, gloves, pants, boots, and obviously the chest piece. Much like the Firebird set, we'll be using the Endless Walk set, so the Traveller's Pledge and the Compass Rose. The set bonus is just too good, you know, while moving, damage taken is reduced by 50% while standing still, which we will be. Our damage dealt is increased by 100%. Now, the braces, ideally you probably want the Path and Defenders, but this works too. Ashengar's Blood Braces works pretty well too. It increases the potency of our shields by 88% or up to 100%. So our shield at the moment is Ice Armor, which I'll go through my skills in a second. Just go through here. So Path and Defenders preferably, but Ashengar's Blood Bracer works fine as well. Our belt would definitely want the Shame of Delcia. Now, this makes our Spectral Blades cast 50% faster. So check that out. Freddy Krueger shit going on there. She's just going away, hacking away with her Spectral Blades. So definitely want the Shame of Delcia. We want the Halo of Arlis. Now we can swap this out for Convention of Elements as long as you have one of them Canon's Cube and one of them equipped. Obviously you would put the one that has the better damage output. That weapon, Unstable Scepter, Arcane Orbs, Explosion triggers an additional time, right? So we'll have 4 orbs around us and they'll trigger twice each. So this is huge. We definitely want this. The more damage the better. Fine roll an Ancient. I'll give an example. Without an Ancient and I've got no issue doing damage. I'll melt down shit that you wouldn't believe, which I will show you. Everything I need to do to build. And Triumvirate definitely you want in your offhand. Again, we can swap this out for the item in Canon's Cube, which we'll go through in a second, but as it stands, you definitely want this, and you see these spells increase the damage of Arcane Orb by up to 200%. So I've got 197 here, up 197% for 6 seconds, stacking up to 3 times. This is huge. The damage that we're doing, boys and girls, is absolutely massive already. It's just adding up big time, right? So that pretty much covers our gear. Is there anything that I've missed here? I don't think so. So once you've got all that sorted, let's head over to our skills. We're going to be using Spectral Blade with Barrier Blades. Taken. Arcane Orb, this is our primary damage dealer. This absolutely kills shit like you wouldn't believe. And you want Arcane Orbit, so we have those orbs orbiting around us. Slow time with Exhaustion. teleport with safe passage. You can, if you're just farming Torment 10 or regular rifts, Nephilim rifts, you can go wormhole because you can actually teleport twice, but safe passage reduces damage taken indefinitely for greater rifts. I'd recommend that. If you're doing speed runs, then you can probably go wormhole, but preferably you'd want safe passage. Explosive blast with chain reaction. Now this isn't actually a damage dealer for us, this is actually a damage reduction buff, which I'll get into in a second when I show you what's in Canonized Cube. But we also get some extra damage from this, which is nice as well. Ice armor with crystallize, which goes hand in hand with our Healer of our Lease here, which I've mentioned. Alright, so make sure you have ice armor with crystallize. We want arcane dynamo, so casting signature spells with our spectral blade will increase our damage of our non-signature spells, which is our arcane orb, by 60%. So we can just, the multiplier is just insane and the arcane orb, as you can see already, the damage is certainly illusionist. So when you take more than 15% of your maximum life damage, cooldowns of mirror image, slow time and teleport are reset. So slow time and teleport will be reset for us, so we can teleport and cast slow time more often. Audacity, increasing our damage output. Obviously enemies will be really close to us. This is a real, we're going to be right in the middle of it, boys and girls, so definitely must have Audacity. And Unwavering Will, because we will be standing still most of the time. Well, all the time when we're doing damage, the other time we're moving around is when we're trying to get to the spot. Now let's get into this Canonized Cube stuff that I was talking about. What we want in our weapon slot, the Orb of Infinite Death. Alright, now, each time you hit an enemy with Explosive Blast, which we have with Chain Reaction, damage is increased by 5%, damage reduction is increased by 15% for 6 seconds, and this stacks up to 4 times. So, damage reduction is huge for a wizard, and damage increase is nice with this item as well. So we're just going to be melting down shit everywhere. Armor, a killer cuirass, definitely for that damage reduction when we're above 90% primary resource. We will be casting Explosive Blast and Arcane Orb reasonably often, but when we're spamming Spectral Blades, we should be above 90% primary resource 95% of the time, right? It won't be a very long time that we're below that, so this will definitely come in handy. And like I mentioned, Convention of Elements. Alright, either that or Halo of our Lease, vice versa. Make sure you have both these elements. Paragon points are pretty self-explanatory. Make sure you've got your 25% total movement speed increase, everything else is intelligence. Offense will want critical hit chance, damage, attack speed, and cooldown reduction. Defense, resist all armor, life regen. Utility will want area damage, resource cost reduction, life on hit, and gold line. Alright. So that pretty much gets us all set. Let's get into some gameplay and I'll show you exactly what this build does. I'm pretty sure I've gone through everything. You guys don't need anything else. If you guys don't have some of the items like Unstable Scepter or Triumvirate here, or even, let's say you don't have some of the items in Canonized Cube, the Killer Cuirass is usually easy to get. Orb of Infinite Death might be a bit harder. If you don't have that, just choose something that you can use for this build, the next best thing until you get it. Even without some of these items, you can be missing a couple, it'll still be doing awesome damage, alright, believe me. I didn't have Orb of Infinite Depth for a while, and I had no issue with damage. Now that I've got it, I just kill it and I stay alive. Even longer, alright? Now, let's give you guys an example of what this does. Where shall we go? Festering Woods? No, we'll go Fields of Misery. Always plenty of action in Fields of Misery. So activate our armor. And you just see, like, shit just dies, alright? And you can see that slow time is actually reset so quickly that you'll have it up most of the time, if not 100% of the time. But this isn't even challenging whatsoever.
Need more time.
Elites, yeah, whatever.
Your grave awaits.
Alright, so all you gotta do is just get into that rhythm of